4-0, baby. I hope you guys been listening to me. Alright, this is our Thursday night, week 3 lineup. Alright, you guys. Alright, first I just want to apologize. I'm a little sick. But this is our Thursday game cash lineup. I want to get it up there. So first off, I want to say that both our teams last week won. Our Thursday night lineup won, and our Sunday night lineup won. It was a little bit of a nail biter towards the end on that second lineup because Drew Brees really kind of screwed us. But I mean, we still won. So I put up a lot of money, and thankfully we won. I mean, that game with Dallas was a nail biter. Came down to that last drive where Terrence Williams kind of caught that touchdown, which really helped us. And then we didn't have Jordan Matthews on our team, so when Jordan Matthews caught that touchdown, his ownership was really high. So man, that game that was a crazy game. But whatever, it's behind us. I want to move forward. You know, we won, so that's all that matters. So right now I'm perfect on the year. I'm 4-0, and okay, so this is my Thursday night lineup. I spent a lot of hours on this lineup. I originally had Tom Brady as our quarterback. Actually, I had Jimmy Clausen as our quarterback, and depending on Jay Cutler's situation, I might have a few lineups with Clausen in it because he's at such a low cost. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about it, but I definitely want to take Brady though in my Sunday night lineup. So I'll leave Brady for Sunday night. And you know who I actually like? I like Kirk Cousins tonight. He comes at a low salary, 6,200, so he needs to get us about 12 points. Where's the last game? All right, whatever. So he played St. Louis. He got us 12 points against St. Louis. He's placing a worse defense in St. Louis, the Giants, and they're going to have to air it out tonight if they want to keep up with the Giants. And I do expect them to get us to 12 points. I don't think they're going to have a run game going. And the Giants have a very beatable secondary. In Washington, they're not as bad as kind of the rap that they get. I do expect him to get us 12 points at least. So I'm taking him, and he's going to be playing tonight. So, all right, and I'm taking Le'Veon Bell as our running back 1. He's back from his suspension, so he hasn't played the first 2 games. I expect his ownership to be a little bit higher. Le'Veon Bell, if you remember, he was a monster. He had that one game. I remember that. I had him on my team. He scored 44.5 fantasy points. It's insane. So he has a high floor and a high ceiling. And Pittsburgh's steamrolling right now. Everything's working for them right now. So I think he's a safe bet to have in your team. My running back 2, I'm taking TJ Yeldon. He comes at a lower salary. I do expect him to get a bunch of carries and a few receptions. Last week he got 28 touches. For someone that costs 6,600 to get 28 touches, I mean that's insane. So the Patriots have a very beatable Russian defense, and Blake Bortles is not going to get anything going in the air, and he's gonna have to check down to his running back 2. Well, I do expect him to catch more receptions than 3, and I expect his carries to be around 20 at least. I think he's a very safe bet to have on our team, so we're taking him. All right, a wide receiver 1. Yeah, I mean, the most clockwork, high-costing receiver. Well, I mean, Julio Jones has been pretty good, but he is hurt, and they're facing Dallas. Antonio Brown scored 32 points last week. He scored 23.8 points the week before. He has a very high floor and a very high ceiling. And with Le'Veon Bell back, I don't think he's going to take much away from Antonio Brown. Who he's going to take catches away from was Hugh, yeah, Heward Bay, whatever. He caught 4 catches last week, and then even look, Marcus Wheaton is actually hurt this week. He didn't practice Thursday. He caught 2 catches. And besides those two and Antonio Brown, they don't have any other depth at receiver. So I think Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown are going to have very good days, or a very good day on Sunday. All right. Emmanuel Sanders, I mean, look, eight catches in that. If you remember this game against Baltimore, it was a weird game where both teams were really struggling on offense. So even on a day where they're struggling on offense, he still got us 11 points. And then last week they looked great against Kansas City. He caught 2 touchdowns and he looked like the preferred receiver for Peyton Manning. And towards the end of the game, they really look like their kind of old self from last year. And I do think they're going to go into this game with the same game plan because Detroit has a very beatable secondary. And Denver really hasn't got anything going on the running game. And I kind of think they're going to just abandon it. And even still, Emmanuel Sanders has a very high floor. And he has a high ceiling. He has upside to him too. So I think he's a safe bet. Wide receiver 3. We're going with Garcon again. So last week we had him on our team. He scored us what he needed to get us. Pretty much thankfully to a receiving touchdown. I think he was a little bit of a risky play last week, but thankfully he got a touchdown, which kind of saved his day. But if he didn't get the touchdown, he would have got how many points? 5.3. So like, look, he only got 23 receiving yards on 6 receptions. But he's gonna do better this week. I mean, they're playing prime time Thursday night. It's gonna be a lot of people are gonna be watching it. Kirk Cousins is back. Wait. Oh no, I'm not. Oh, I was mixing him up with Alright, whatever. It doesn't matter. Alright, so the first game, Kirk Cousins got us about 10 points, and it's with this low salary, if he gets you 10 points, it's not make or break. Especially when we can afford to have people like Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Emmanuel Sanders on our team. All 3 have a high ceiling. So, and then last game he got you what you actually needed. Well, he almost did with 12.12 fantasy points, and that was against St. Louis, who actually has a better secondary than the Giants. So I really do think he's a pretty safe bet for tonight. Who else? So for Sunday, I'm thinking of taking. Well, I'll tell you that in the next video because I want to get this video up. All right. Tight end. We're going for the stack. So let me tell you why I'm taking Jordan Reed. You know, ideally we want to take like someone like Gronk, but in order to take Gronk, would have to move things around. And this lineup did have Gronk in it a few times, but I'm thinking I'm taking him on Sunday, my Sunday game lineups. So I'll leave him for Sunday. And so by taking Jordan Reed, he's been having great games, but he's been low ownership even after these great games. And the reason why he's been at a low ownership is because he gets hurt a lot, similarly to Jimmy Graham. But so say he catches a few receptions and he gets hurt, well, that kind of screws us over. because he won't, if he doesn't come back in the game, that screws us over. But what that does do at the same time is actually boosts Pierre Garcon's value if he gets hurt, because Jordan Reed and Pierre Garcon are the top two receivers in Washington's lineup. So if Jordan Reed does go down and get hurt, we're not totally screwed, because that'll boost up Pierre Garcon's game, his value and his reception total. So I feel like it's a safe bet taking them both together. But by taking them both together, we're doing this stack with Kirk Cousins, Pierre Garcon, and Jordan Reed. And I hate leaning so heavily on one team like that. I mean, unless it's like Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, who are like, they're usually great for their value. But I mean, this stack with the Redskins like this, people might look at this and be like, I would never do that. But this is actually a favorable lineup, a matchup for them against the Giants. So we're taking them, and we're gonna see the game tonight. So well, let me get the kicker. So with our kicker, we're actually taking Josh Brown. We took him last week, and he got us really what he needed to get us, 9 points. He got 17 points in the first week. And I do expect him to get about 10 points in the game tonight. And his ownership is going to be high too. So I don't think the Giants are going to have any trouble getting down into the Redskins' red zone. But they might have a little trouble scoring. The Redskins have a decently good defense. And I expect them to get about 2 to 3 field goals. And maybe a few extra points. So I expect him to get about 10 points, hopefully. And he's going to be high ownership too. So, in defense, that affords us, look how much, don't. So that affords us the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to be really high ownership. I mean, the Bears have Jay Cutler's hurt, Alshon Jeffries is hurt, Eddie Royal is hurt, and Matt Forte is hurt too. So I mean, they're really hurting. See, Forte's hurt. Where's Alshon? Alshon Jeffries he missed practice again. He's hurt. He's probably not going to play. Eddie Royal, he was limited in practice today. He wasn't in practice yesterday. And Cutler, and he's listed as doubtful. Everyone's saying he's not going to play, but the coach hasn't ruled him out yet. So that makes him a little bit. I mean, that makes Jimmy Clausen a little bit of a risky play for our Thursday night. But I mean, we'll see what happens in the next few days. He comes in at such a low cost. But I don't really expect him to do too much against the Seahawks. So I mean, that's why we're taking Seahawks. Because one, they're going to be really high ownership, and two, I do think they're worth their price point. Who I also like is the Patriots. The Patriots looked really good. Their defense looked really good, and their offense looked really good last week. So I'm going to be taking a bunch of Patriots players in my Sunday night lineup. And that's for sure. I'm going to get Edelman and probably Gronk. And we'll see about Brady. But taking Edelman and Gronk, I might need to drop Brady down to a cheaper quarterback. But okay, so this is our Thursday night lineup.